Alright, welcome to another video tutorial of the Seer ERP application. Seer ERP is an open source project that targets small to medium sized manufacturing companies, as well as job shops, CNC job shops, machining centers, as an ERP and EDI solutions package for those type of businesses. It is a free application. You can download it for free at blueseer.com. It is also open source, and therefore the source code is available at GitHub. So for more information on the details of Seer, go to the blueseer.com website. All right, with that said, let's look at the target of this video, which is user maintenance and user security, as well as menu navigation. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do when you download and install the Seer application is you're going to want to set security for the admin password. You'll notice that, and let me demonstrate that for you, that I'm going to run this from the command line, but you would normally just click the shortcut once you've done the install. So if you log in with admin, there is no password required because the security is not set up yet. So again, one of the first things that you're going to want to do when you download and install Seer is set the admin password. And you will do that by clicking on admin, user maintenance, or you can go to user browse, and there's only one user ID with the initial installation. Click that and just set a password for it, and then click update. Okay, so now that when we try to log in again, we launch the application, we try to log in with admin with a blank password, and it should deny it, and it does. So yeah, one of the first things you're going to want to do when you set the application, when you install the application, is you're going to want to set that admin user password. Okay, so now let's assume that you've done the installation, you've set your admin password. Let's create a new user that has access to certain menus that is part of that person's responsibility, that person's job responsibility. Now let's say, for example, that person's job responsibility is, say, order entry. So let's go and create an admin, a new user. We're going to call this user test. First I'm going to click new, then assign test. And these fields here are fairly self-explanatory. I'm just going to blow through these at .com, and I'm going to give him the password of test as well. Okay, so I'm going to log out and log in with the test user ID that we just created. Test. And now test has access to the application, but it does not have any access to any of the menus within the application. So for example, if you go to some of these header menus and you look at the submenu titles are enabled, but almost all of the actual usable menus are disabled because we have not set up any permissions for this specific user test. So what we're going to do is we're going to log back out, close the application. We're going to log back in with the admin user ID, and we're going to assign that new user test with some permissions. So we go to admin user perms maintenance, and in this little panel box here is where you actually assign a specific menu to a specific user. These two tabs here are just for reporting. These are menus assigned to a user. So you choose a user and you'll see what menus are assigned. For example, admin should have access to everything. Test should have access to nothing so far. And then these are users assigned to a specific menu. For example, account maintenance. Admin should be the only one accessible with it. So let's go ahead and assign, let's assume that this user is responsible for order entry, order browse, shipping, stuff like that. So we need to set them up with those menus and with access to those menus. So for menu for order maintenance, there's order maintenance. We're going to give test user access to order maintenance. So click assign. And we're going to do order browse right below it, or above it. There it is, order browse. And then, what others? Let's go with shipping. Ship maintenance, that's a good one. All right, just to give some examples. So now the test user ID has access to these three menus. So if we close the application, log back in with our test user ID, then you'll notice that the two menus in the order menu, main menu, are now accessible. So he can click on order maintenance and that'll bring him to the order screen. He can click on order browse and that'll bring him to the other screen. So none of the other menus are enabled. The shipping menu should also be accessible. So that's how you would grant a user ID permissions to various menus. Now let's back up again and log in with the admin user ID. And look at that user perms maintenance screen one more time. Okay, so this has been explained. This says as well. This is where you assign. You can unassign a menu as well to a user. So, for example, the test. Well, let's go back to here. So for order maintenance, I want that menu to be unassigned to that user. You can just click unassigned, and that'll take that menu out of that user's accessibility. Now, one other important menu here is to copy all permissions. And probably what you'll want to do is you'll have a group of people who have certain job responsibilities. They have order entries, they're responsible for warranties, quality, engineering, etc., etc. So you can create templates of these users as a user ID, call it user template if you want, and then assign certain menu access to that user template. Once you do that, you can copy the user template. For example, if I copied admin to user test, all menus that admin had access to will be granted to the test user ID. So that's one way to do it. You would create templates for certain job functions, and then when you need to create a realistic user ID, use the template. It'll be a lot easier than having to go in and assign and unassign each menu at a time. All right, last I want to talk about navigation. All these menus are just clickable menus. So if you wanted to go to some of these are fairly deep in depth. Other reports, POS menu, particularly in the item master, production menu, production reports. You'll see they're 3 or 4 levels deep sometimes. You can do a shortcut. There are navigational codes, 4, 5, or 6 digit codes that you can put in for each menu. Each menu has an assignment of a code. So for example, if I wanted to go to production menu, production report detail, you'll notice that when you highlight above that menu, there will be a little highlighted box of a character, and you would enter that character. Another example is order maintenance. That screen is called ORDM. The shortcut for that is ORDM. Purchasing, receiving browse is RECB. So this is the navigational text box. You put in the appropriate nav code, and that will bring you to the menu for that nav code. Now, for example, order maintenance is ORDM. Item maintenance, a good one, is item. Customer maintenance is CUSM, etc., etc. So what you have is a shortcut option here to, instead of having to go click through all the menus, and if you know what menu you want, you just put in the nav code for that menu. The nav codes themselves are in the help nav code list. You can sort by nav code, and you can sort by the actual menu itself. And these are the codes appropriate to that menu. For example, AR payment browse is ARPB, so you'll see the sequence here. Okay, so that's navigation. That's administration of users and user perms. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to blueseer.com. There is a contacts page there. Most importantly, if you do come across any bugs or problems, please send an email to support@blueseer.com, and we'll take a look at it and get it resolved as fast as we can. Okay, thank you.